your small line, one line of code, you may think, yeah, I'm just writing a program, but no, it is helping one customer shipping their product 10 hours early, making them extra money. That money will come to employee again. That's what you're helping. And if you don't relate to that, you will never appreciate your work, and you will never appreciate, then you will never enhance your work. So take a pride in your work, basically.
Wow.
We delivered 3 programs to Star Plus through. I was 9.
So you hired people from IIT, right? To work for you.
Till 1990s, the average age of IITians was 17 years. Okay, that means they're doing 12th and they're getting into IIT. Now the average age is 19. That means they're taking a gap year, studying or failing or redoing, and then getting into the IIT.
So great morning, audience. It's a beautiful Saturday. It's around 11:30 in the morning hours in India. Of course, if you ask me, probably morning hours start at around 4:45 and they sort of, they end by 7:30 because a lot of things.
Wow.
Like a lot of coaching, a lot of programs in the morning. So for me, it's like daytime because the day for me typically starts early in the morning, and all the people who are connected with me through some channel, there are people who come for one-to-one coaching. There are people who are working on their books. There are people who join my morning sessions. For them, morning means actual morning, around 5 o'clock, 6:30, 7 o'clock. So I've been doing some programs in the morning hours. And before that, before audience say that, hey, you have started talking about morning, let's talk about Mr. Yashpal Jain, the guest for today. So let me talk a bit about Yashpal Jain. So the audience, when I started this heart-to-heart conversation series, I think many months ago, almost it has been 9 to 10 months time, or maybe a little less than that. I never envisaged, imagined that there will come a day when many guests who will come for this conversation series, they will actually go back and then they will recommend to me some other people also. Because, I think this was a very good moment for me to think of the value which people have started seeing out of these conversations, to think of the fun and pleasure and energy and enjoyment which people have started experiencing while being a part of some of these heart-to-heart conversations. So I'm so happy to share with the audience for the first time that many guests, almost 5 to 6 guests, actually, they went back, then they sent me some contact. They said, Arun, why don't talk to person ABC, because I think they have got a lot of inspiring stories to share. And I recall I spoke with Amit Agrawal, who is the managing director in Dubai in Martred Group. He suggested to me the name of Mr. Yashpal Jain. I'm so happy, Yashpal Jain, to have you as the guest, because the fact here is that out of all the 5 or 6 guests who recommended many names to me, you are the first one who actually who agreed to come for this conversation. Other people are still thinking. There are some people in USA, they're still trying to figure out how to come, what kind of questions he's going to ask, because I have been telling people it's all heart-to-heart, it's all free flowing, it's something which people enjoy. But there are people who are still wondering, okay, some people say that, let me take some time, I'll come back. But Mr. Yashpal Jain, I think the very first moment I spoke with him, I sent a message to him, he immediately volunteered to come for it. I think we got connected just 10 days ago. So this is one thing I wanted to share with the audience. The second thing is that this is the first conversation in which, for the first time, I'm talking to somebody that I don't know. I didn't know till 10 days ago.
Wow.
Normally what has happened is that I have spoken with all the people, with whom I had some connection. Maybe some of these people had studied with me. Maybe I had studied with them in some of these engineering colleges, or maybe some of these people had worked in some of the places, or maybe I knew them through some reason. And now, of course, they have settled in San Francisco and some of these places. But this is the first time I'm talking to somebody that I didn't know. And that means that now heart-to-heart conversation has started spreading out to the world. So thank you so much for joining us, Yashpal. It's such a pleasure for me to be talking to you. And again, audience will say, Arun, first tell us about the guest before you start jumping into some of these things which you are going to talk about. Of course, audience, as you all know, it's very inspiring. It's going to be a very inspiring conversation because I have gone through the profile of Yashpal Jain, and for me, I see a very inspiring story in every person that I meet. It's just that in many cases, people themselves do not know the inspiring stories within them. But yeah, in some cases, in case of some people, the stories are very big and there are many stories. So today we are talking to somebody who has got many books of inspiration hidden within the person. And once again, I welcome Yashpal Ji. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Saturday morning, I know it's a weekend for you. And despite that, I can see that smiling face in front of me. So I'm so happy and inspired to be talking to you. I know that you travel a lot, and of course, we'll talk about it. So, audience, Mr. Yashpal Jain started his career in 2001, and he started his career as a technical consultant, as a freelancer, technical consultant, and then he joined Intel Corporation, where he worked for 2 years. He worked in, I think, Bangalore in India. And then he joined Fujitsu Consulting as project manager, customer engagement manager, pre-sales executive for India and Middle East. And of course, that was a time when Yashpal Ji worked from Pune, from where I am speaking. So this is the first one of the many connections which you're going to discover as we progress through this conversation. And I noted some very interesting things while working in Fujitsu. You worked for India and for USA and for UAE. I think a lot of, I think pretty a wide range of work we have done. And then after that, Yashpal Ji joined OpenText, in which he worked for more than 9 years. About 9 years. And then that was the time, I think, when he shifted to Dubai. And before that, he had worked in USA for almost 3 years. So I think you are truly a globetrotter, Yashpal Ji. Yeah, go on. Yeah,
we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the journey, how it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. So I'll just take 1 more minute. And then Yashpal Ji joined a company called TechnoVal, in which he is working as the head of UAE Operations and OpenText. And apart from being the head of UAE Operations in TechnoVal, he also is looking after the OpenText practices for MENA region. What it means is that it stands for Middle East and North Africa, isn't it? And this region includes at least 19 countries. I was just going through MENA region and I saw that almost 20 countries are there. So Yashpal Ji, of course, this is just not even the tip of iceberg, because this is just the tip of iceberg, because there is a lot which you're going to talk about. And I saw, Yashpal Ji, while going through your profile, that you have been deeply into the field of SAP implementation. I don't know how many posts I've seen where you have actually launched Go Live, for SAP for many of your clients. I think it's a great organization, TechnoVal. And of course, we are talking to somebody who has got lots of inspiring stories. Over to you, Yashpal Ji, once again, welcome. Thank you. Salute you for sparing your time. And when you look back on your journey of almost 20 years, more than 20 years, which has been across, I think, many global locations, including Dubai, including US, including, of course, some of the places in India. And also the places in which from which you worked in India, they are like global places, Pune and Bangalore, where the culture is pretty global. So great. And when you look back on your journey for almost more than 20 years, which are those initial thoughts which come to you? And of course, we're going to talk a lot about technology and other things. Thank you so much. Over to you.
Thank you. It's been an interesting journey. When you look back, actually, you don't realize it, what you're traveling, unless you cross that path, right? And you look back, how long have you traveled? You make me feel old now. That yes, but yeah, it was interesting journey. When you look back, the human tendencies of having goals and achieving it, and then moving forward to new goals. When you're in the college, you're looking like, hey, if I earn 20 lakhs, I'm set for my life. And then suddenly you say, hey, my salary is 20 lakh. I'm spending that money in a year rather than earning it. I'm spending that money. And then suddenly you see, oh, I need a goal of much bigger apartment, much bigger salary, 7-figure, 6-figure salary, and all this stuff. Suddenly you realize everything you think you want to achieve does not make any sense, right? You're just constantly moving in a.
I'll take a little pause. I think what you said is something which I couldn't contain myself, because I recall while thinking about college days, I recall most of the students from college days, they used to have 2 or 3 goals. One goal is to have a nice salary, nice package. That's the first goal. Second is to have a beautiful girl in life. So maybe as a girlfriend, maybe as the girl that they can marry. So beautiful wife, a nice villa, and a nice package. That's all. And as we lived more for a couple of decades, we saw that actually life, this was not even tip of iceberg of life, isn't it? So go on.
Exactly.
What you're saying is very interesting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Correct. So, having said that, all this one thing remained constant, with all this journey is when your goals are becoming bigger, your responsibility is becoming bigger, right? So you initially, when your goals are smaller, your risk-taking appetite is way higher. It's like inversely proportional. Your goals are small, your risk-taking ability is much higher. And as your goals are increasing, you start taking lesser and lesser risk. And this is where people stagnate, right? And that's a thing I see everywhere in my industry, where people are sticking to a job or a technology or a comfort level which kills them, basically.
It kills careers, it kills aspirations, it kills. Actually, what you said is very important. You said it kills them. When you say them, it's very important because it kills a person's true inner potential, which could have been multiple times more than the level at which the person is working. I know it for sure because I'm in the field of coaching. Actually, and it's absolutely true. So what you said, the three words are very important. It kills them. Actually, it kills their whole powers and the things which they could have done. Very nice.
Exactly. I have seen many ex-colleagues. We in the industry we call them part of furniture. Is they don't leave. Companies bought and sold. Companies live. Company shifts, but they are there.
They are like a furniture. Oh my God! Today, many people who are watching the video, this video, are going to be stunned because this is the reality. What you have said, Yashpal Ji, is absolutely a reality. There are people who are like furniture who are just at the same place, stagnancy.
And typically, I don't like to. Even I question myself if I am putting more utility in my work or not. Forget about career or job or anything. It's like if incrementally I am increasing my value or not. Because if you're not, somebody else have an incremental value, and at one point of time you'll be out. And I have seen people. And what happens is, when you don't have the incremental value, then you play safe, right? Then your entire ability of taking risk is gone because you cannot have any more value. And that's a huge downfall I see in many leaders, or not even leaders, consultant or anybody having that mindset. It's a mindset, right? That what you want to do, and that's
I think Yashpal Ji, I am sure that I'm talking to somebody who is truly a very inspiring and motivating person. And we are talking to somebody who truly believes in the power of goals and thinking big and taking risks, and then keep on being on the go is very important. So I'm so happy once again to have you. Of course, I've changed the background audience so that you know that we are going to talk a bit about digital world as well, because actually, though Mr. Yashpal Jain might appear to you as a person who inspires, he's heavily into technology as well. So he's a well-rounded person with a lot of aspects to his personality. Go on, sir. Go on, please. Very nice.
So, if you want to talk about DigiConnect, this webinar we hosted for industry CIOs. Wanted to talk about their life journey, not life journey in a technology world, basically.
We'll come to that. We'll come to that later. But first, I think what you're saying is very inspiring. I just want to listen to you more. What you said is, we'll come to that. What you said is that is very interesting. Of course, this background is just to remind the audience that we are talking to somebody who has been in various forums, because I could see lots and lots of forums in which Yashpal Ji has been sharing his thoughts. Many talks where you have actually many panel discussions you have moderated, and some of these things we're going to talk about. I think what you said is very important. You use this word goal many times, and that's a very important point, because I always tell people that, because I've been coaching some people, and there are 5 aspects of life transformation or career transformation. So the 5 aspects of career transformation includes vision, mindset, goals, lot of actions, lot of extraordinary work and effort and hard work, whatever you call it, smart work, a lot of work has to be done. And then, of course, I think people also have to work a bit on their vision also. So, and of course, once they get the right company of right people, there are some people who keep on helping them in breaking their comfort zone, things that start falling in place. And goal is very important, what you said. So, and you said it many times. I have seen many people will look down upon goals. They will get a feeling, okay, how can life change just by writing something? But so many corporates are working on balanced scorecards and goal setting and performance appraisal and performance systems and all that, and stretch goal. And actually, that's what has been governing some of the best of corporate names in the world. Very nice. Go on. I think we'll go back to the things.
So one interesting thing about goal, I told I was in Hyderabad, where our offshore development center is there of the company. And I was meeting my team after a long time, and people are working incredibly hard. this 6 days a week working because of Middle East. Dubai worked from Monday to Friday, and Saudi works from Sunday to Thursday. It became 6 work day week for us, right? So, we're talking to my team, and it was interesting. People are doing work without realizing what they're contributing to, right? And it becomes sort of a lack of motivation for them when you don't know what they're contributing to.
Why part is missing? The why part is missing. What exactly they are
exactly
doing? What is that they are? We are exactly making some value addition, because most people are like furniture, so furniture hardly add value.
He was talking to them as well that, hey, what you're doing is you're doing part of something big. You may not realize what you're trying to do, right? But at the end, you are contributing to something bigger. But at the same time, if you look down upon your own work, you will never contribute more, because if you don't value your work, you will not contribute more. You have to value your work, and that will lead to, you have to know the bigger picture, that, hey, what you're contributing, even if a small thing, right? We talk about a hinge in a door will basically keep the entire, if you see, think of a door now, right? Technology of door has not changed since last 3,000 years, if you really see. The concept is exactly the same. On one side you have hinges, one side you have a lock. What new things you have done on the door since last 5,000 years?
The houses are changing, but doors are the same.
Exactly the same. But you have to understand.
So there are many people who are not only like furniture, they're also like a door, which is the same.
Exactly. So I told them same thing, that, don't be a door. I mean, yes, you can redecorate and all this, but that will not make a difference, right? But you have to understand where you contribute, and, contribute in a way you understand what is the bigger picture for you, how this bigger things is making sense, right? Your small one line of code, you may think, yeah, I'm just writing a program, but no, it is helping one customer shipping their product 10 hours early, making them extra money. That money will come to employee again. That's what you're helping. And if you don't relate to that, you will never appreciate your work, and you will never appreciate, then you will never enhance your work. So take a pride in your work, basically.
Wow. No, it's very, very powerful thing which you said. Audience, please, my suggestion is that take a deep breath in, and I think pause this video here. And I think reflect for 5 minutes time, not more than that. Just for 5 minutes time, as are you a person who is enjoying your work? Number one, are you a person who can see the connection with what you're doing with a bigger goal, with a bigger purpose which you are serving? Number 3, are you actually working on something which gives you a sense of pride, or are you somebody who is just saying yes to somebody because that somebody has got the reins of your career, while you know that what you are doing is not exactly doing justice with your power, your talents, your abilities, your purpose, isn't it? Many people, once again, many people working in many corporates, even now today, are actually doing something which they know in their heart that it's not exactly something which I had been designed for by whatever call it, cosmic
Sure.
Sure. And that's the reason that since they do not have the sense of pride, they are just dragging their life. And this is actually with a large percentage of people, because having the field of coaching, Yashpal Jain, it's a large percentage, maybe 80, 90 also I have seen people. And that's the reason the world is actually is a world which could have been actually a much bigger world, but then there are a lot of changes, challenges, and problems which you see around. Stress,
Sure.
you see many people working in corporates have got, because see, this feeling, these thoughts which people are having, this becomes a part of somebody's subconscious mind. This lack of pride, this lack of this thinking that they are compromising a little too much with their life. This feeling that they are not exactly in the field of their talent, their strengths, their true, value additions which they could have made. And because of that reason, gradually stress starts building up. People do not even know the sources of stress, how exactly that they were started feeling negative, they were started feeling tired, they were started feeling stressful. And then the easiest path for people, for furniture, sorry to say, I'm saying this with humility and respect, is to go to a doctor and then get some counseling and start popping some pills, and then things keep on going this way. That's the reason. Take a deep breath. It's not even 5 minutes, and think on this point which Yashpal Jain has so nicely brought up. Please go on.
When you talk about counseling, there was one famous philosopher. He said, and I'm not degrading the mental health issue or anything like that.
No, we are fully responsible.
But they said having a depression or having a counseling, that kind of, where you really think about your career and you go to counselor and everything, or thinking of a life choices, is a luxury of rich people. When you say people are rich people, that means think of when you're enjoying your work, right? I work 6-7 days, right? I'm doing 6 days actual work, and then Saturday is my admin work. I catch up with all the other things which I missed out and work it. Do I feel tired? Sometimes, yeah, but then you have a purpose behind it, and you feel, okay, let's do it every single time, right? And that motivates you. I'm not saying sacrifice your personal life. Of course, you have to, family is what going to keep you sane and grounded. When you come from a huge seminar, I'm giving a speech. I was a speaker in many one, and when you come home, and I ask, okay, let's have dinner. And my wife say, okay, what are you gonna have for dinner? I'm like, I'm mood for something pizza. I have dal chawal for you. Let's keep you grounded, right? Family, you don't have any choice.
Boss, what you're saying is absolutely, sorry, I'll just take a minute again, then we'll carry on. What you said is, because every word which you're saying is giving me some, very inspiring thought, because I think you are absolutely making some of the most powerful points which we have heard in the course of this conversation. So audience, what Yashpal just said is very powerful, because, of course, with due respect to some of the challenges which people face in life, some of these things which we know as, people know as depression and negativity and this and that, and I don't know, again, that and this, is for riches, and also it is for people who actually decide for them. They choose it for themselves.
Exactly.
I'll tell you why I'm saying this with so much of conviction, because I'll tell you something based on what I've experienced over the last many months, maybe couple of years. So I started this program called Magical Morning Rituals. For rituals mean habits for greatness. And I also call it Be Your Transformed version 2.0 with every passing year. Release your new version. And all that people are supposed to do is to work on these things which you can see on one side. So current state is something, is all about feeling grateful about whichever stage in life you are currently, somebody is currently. Because irrespective of what kind of challenges you're facing, there are still a lot of things which you can feel good about. It's just to begin your journey of transformation on a positive note. Isn't it? Glass is half full and glass is full also. Half with water, half with air, and all these things which people know. Then mindset. Of course, a mind map. So once I blow it up, it will keep on leading to many branches. Mindset has got 3 aspects of learning, winning, and positivity. I mean, it's something which is all free. All that people are supposed to do is to just join me at 5:30, and still out of 100 people who join me in any WhatsApp group, only 10 people are able to join me in the morning at 5:30. And these people are completely transformed. Yesterday, I got some message. Yesterday in India, we had the release of class 12 results. Somebody sent a message to me in one of the groups that, sir, I'm so happy that I used to be a person who used to get only 65 to 75% marks. And thanks to my habit of being little early and spending 1 hour with me while doing some of these very powerful habits, while practicing some of these habits in the morning hours, that my grasping power has increased. His actually level is going up. His level to go deeper into things, his level to appreciate seemingly simple things in life has started going up, and that's one of the requirements. That's one of the outcomes of these morning programs. And this person has got more than 80%. And he can't believe 65% person has become 80%. I said, see, this is the field of peak performance. The power lies within you. The power lies within us. It's just that we do not let this power come up to the world, so that neither we nor the world is able to see this power. And that's the reason. And that's because people are not working on the mindset. They are living with like a furniture, same mindset, same thing. They are not working on their habits. They are not building some of these very powerful habits which will cost nothing. For example, this habit of waking a little early in the morning. I'm not even talking about 3:30, 4:30. I'm talking about 5:30. Even that people can't do. Somebody who is obese by almost 20 to 30 kgs. I'm talking about a real life example without taking the name Yashpal Ji. This guy joined on behalf of one of the corporates to be a part of this morning, because I also do these programs with corporates. So I take batches from corporates. This guy joins as a part of a batch of 15 people, and then he couldn't. He joined me at 5:30 in initial 1 or 2 weeks, and then he left. I set up a one-to-one call with him. He says, Arunji, can we have a call? Can we have this session at 7:30 to 8:30 in the evening? I can join in the evening. I can't join in the morning. Can you believe the person is watching IPL matches till 11:30 every day while people are making crores, and he can't even wake up at 5:30? You can't imagine. So mindset, and this person is obese by 30 kgs. Forget about the world of transformation. He needs it. It's urgently needed for his health. Of course, we are yet to come to wealth and other things. mindset, habits, vision board, which you spoke about, goals, which you spoke about, health. Of course, while looking at you with the shine on your face, I know that you are a person who is doing something, because anybody who is connected to Amit Agarwal must be doing something something must be doing, because I know it's all about Sangat, company of people that we surround ourselves with. And all these things will fall in place if all that a person is going to have is a coach. One coach can bring everything in somebody's life, or one right coach. We're not talking about those coaches who are having those rented cars in the backdrop and then get their photo shoot done and then they start spreading the words of Gyan and all that on social media. We're not talking about those people. They're in large number, by the way. They're in large number. Exactly. So, what you said is very important. Depression and some of these things are for riches and are for people who actually cause it because they are not able to break their comfort zone. Furniture, you can't expect anything else from a furniture who is at the same place, right? Rotting, stale, stagnant. All that's what you might go on, sir. Go on, please. Yeah.
No, there was an interesting when you said talk about depression. There was the book I love is Shantaram. I don't know whether you read that.
I've heard this thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and in that there's a very line which impacted me a lot. He said, "If you're depressed, you don't know how to be sad." If you're depressed, you don't know how to be sad. You're skipping a state,
Yeah, no. It's a choice, of course, while having due respect to people. It's a choice which people make. And the thing is here is that it's just 5% of people, including you and some other people who actually maybe less than 5% of people who are actually driving this world while enjoying their life, while feeling the sense of fulfillment. It's a challenging world, right? But still, whenever they see challenges, because they've got the mindset of a winner, we spoke about 3 different types of mindset, which is a part of my one-to-one coaching program. Since they've got this winning mindset, whenever they see challenges, they say, okay, this is the time for me to grow. That's how you have grown in your career, right? Bangalore, Pune, USA, Dubai, and then working in two different countries, right? Set of countries, like Dubai time zone, and then this, and 1 day of work in a weekend. And I know you are traveling a lot. So it's very, very interesting. Please go on. Yeah, saying something is very nice. Thank you. By the way, this book Shantaram, this is maybe you can share some more details. I'll put it in the description when I release it.
So it's a book. I've heard of this. I forgot. I read it almost 10-12 years back. So it was about a convict who from Australia who somehow escaped the prison, landed in Bombay in 80s, and lived his life in India and did many things. And it's a fictional story. It's a semi-fictional story. You don't know which part are real, which part are fake.
I'm laughing because of one thing you just reminded me. Because you're talking to somebody who has, of course, put up some books, efforts, and all these books are fictional and semi-fictional. So that's the reason the moment you said, I can fully appreciate. Yeah. For example, the story is a mix of fiction and non-fiction. This is a mix of fiction and non-fiction. Some of the parts of the book are from some of those college days, lives. And then, of course, this inspiring is that when there is a breakup, when somebody falls in love, it's okay. When somebody goes through a breakup with their dreams, with somebody's dreams or relationship or whatever, actually that's the place where that's the moment when there is a big opportunity for somebody to make it big. But it's just that people have to follow some of these things which one can see in the backdrop. Only then they can actually have develop these eyes and mindset to actually use these opportunities challenges as opportunities. Very interesting. Go on. Yeah. So it's a mix of real and fiction. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, any autobiography, this is not autobiography, Shantaram, but any autobiography for me is semi-fictional. It cannot, because person who's narrating the story is taking his point of view. It is not an absolute truth, right? Nobody have absolute.
Very important point. Very important.
The degree of facts will change between different biographies, but every single biography is semi-fictional because you're narrating your point of view. That's it. You're not going to be saying what do you think about me at all.
Yeah, absolutely. Recently in India there is a person called a Sneer Grower. So he has become all of a sudden a big personality because of Shark Tank and some of these programs. And he wrote a book, and he wrote a book which has become a bestseller.
Doglapan.
Yeah, Doglapan. And this book is all about this guy talking about his side of the story. Now, and he has taken many names. And if you talk to those people, they will have a different story.
Exactly.
The best example of what you said. Very interestingly said, Yashpal Jain.
So when I was talking about Shantaram, the reason I like that, the guy who actually escaped the Australian prison or New Zealand prison and came to India and lived. And his entire story is about Bombay, where I grew up, right? And you can identify yourself with that story, that how when he was talking about when he landed in Bombay, a smell hit his nose. And Bombay has a distinct smell when you land.
Smell because of waters and
waters and everything, and you land
water and all that,
So it was but his life journey is very inspiring as well. So it's an interesting book, but it has a very interesting anecdotal or phrases in the book, which are very philosophical. And one of them was that if you're depressed, you don't know how to be sad. As I said again, there can be a mental health challenge, but many people are depressed for the sake of it and not real medical condition, because they have given up.
Right.
They have not fighting, or they don't have purpose or goal or the vision where they want to be.
They don't have purpose, they don't have vision, they don't have goals, they don't have consistency in doing something which they know is right, but still they can't have the energy.
This is one of the most important point, the consistency. I don't know, Vinod Kamli, right? And at one point when Sachin and Vinod were playing together in Indian team, Vinod Kamli had a higher average in test matches than Sachin Tendulkar.
Absolutely, yes, yeah.
Okay. What was that? If you understand, he was far more talented than Sachin Tendulkar, the way he was making the things happen. If you see the brief history of that 4 or 5 years when he was playing, he was absolute carnage as a Vinod Kamli. Double 100 back-to-back. Sachin never had back-to-back double 100. This guy had the back-to-back double 100.
You're right.
And he did amazing work. But so talent-wise, he was one of the best talent India has ever produced, apart from Kapil. Kapil, if you see, or Dhoni recently, they are pure talent. You cannot. When I say talent, I'm not saying the genuine geniuses. I'm saying as a natural ability of an athlete, right? They were amazing, right? Dhoni or Kapil or Kamli was in that league, but he played matches against West Indies first time, and first time he was seeing 7 feet ball, a right ball coming from 11 feet and all this stuff. And he had no idea how to counter those bouncers. He had no idea. And he never played test match after that. Can you believe that? His last test, he did not play that. He was far more talented, but talent brought him to the place where he could have a higher average than Sachin at that point of time. But then when the real issue came, he did not have a consistency to practice and negate that, because he relied on his talent far too long without putting that effort. Whereas Sachin kept on putting that effort, kept changing his playing style, and kept playing for 24 years.
Yashpal,
and that's a huge
very powerful thing which you have shared, because what I have seen, because as a part of many of my coaching assignments and writing and all that, what I've seen is that people have got talents. Many people have got talents. I think I always tell people that everybody has got at least one seed of great talent within the person, including a person who is selling tea by the side of the road. It's just that many people do not ever get a chance to get to realize their talent. That's first thing. And after that, even if people know the talent that they possess, they are not able to surmount the second door. We are talking about door, which is a very important door. That is the door of having a winning mindset. For example, if a person is short-heighted and then he comes across bowlers who are, say, 7 feet and kind of, they are pretty tall, and then they are throwing bouncers. This short-heighted person should have the mindset of Sachin Tendulkar, for example, because then he knows that since he's short-heighted, many of these bouncers, now there is a rule, right? You can't throw more than 1 or 2 balls or whatever bouncer. So they know even in the most challenging situations, they will find an opportunity. That's what I was talking about while talking about winning mindset. A person who gets, thrashed by a ball from Shoaib Akhtar, and still he says that he will not give up. That is where a champion is born. When he's bleeding and he's kind of lying on the crease while people from Pakistan are shouting him that who is this 16-year-old young guy who has come to play against Shoaib Akhtar, who is our bull, who is our lion, who is our whatever, I don't know. And then he gets up and says, no, I'll still play. That is where a champion is born. Champion is never born with talent. He is born not because of talent, he's born because of this thing which is here. and I always tell people that actually people make a choice. They make a choice when they accept defeat. It's a choice. For example, I always tell people that, see, many people know, we're talking about consistency. Many people know that an apple a day will keep all the doctors away. How many people are eating an apple over the last 10 years? Nobody. How many people are eating an apple over the last 1 year? Even that percentage is very low. How many? Very low. How many people are able to wake up at 5:30, for example, or 5 o'clock and spend 1 hour while doing building some of these habits of reading, reflecting, meditating, setting goals for today, reflecting on yesterday and taking one lesson, or whatever, doing some of these things which are quite a few things which people can do. But how many people are able to spend even 45 minutes, even 10 minutes with themselves, for themselves in the morning? It's all about consistency. 10 minutes a day will not do any much, but 10 minutes or 15 minutes a day, when practiced for 1 year, is going to transform people. And then people say, oh my God, transformation is magical. I think it's absolutely impossible. No, it's possible, and you make it possible, isn't it? You make it possible. Very nice example. Please go on. Yeah, very nice.
So, I mean, I was talking about my team in Hyderabad, and being many team, when they are in India, they don't realize what they contributing or what they're doing, right? And they think we're just sitting here and doing something.
Yeah.
The one thing which I tell all my team is about controlling the things which you can control.
Correct.
Which is typically,
correct.
And that doesn't require talent. That doesn't require
very important
a
point.
single bit of talent. I tell them, if you break something in the program, let's say you're writing a software program, right? And something goes down at customer, I'll forgive you, because you have no intention of breaking it. Nobody has it, right? That's a genuine mistake. You cannot possibly have done that intentionally. But sending me an email, so that doesn't set my mind wild. That time I will say, okay, guys, let's figure it out, how to fix this. And I'll take all the heat from customer. Hey guys, sorry this happened. Can't avoid it. We'll try to fix it, right? I'll waive off the charges. I'll waive off the money, whatever it is, right? To compensate you, but let's fix it. But he sends me email with the wrong spelling. My mind goes crazy. One email with the wrong spelling, and I'm like, you got to be shitting me. How can you ignore this? Because you don't have to be English literature genius. It's autocorrect on the email. Just right click and fix the spelling. And if you do that, then basically you're not putting your thoughts in detail. You're not taking pride in your work. You're not doing the absolute bare minimum what needs to be done. Absolutely. And I tell them same thing, that control the things which you can. Rest will follow. Rest you can have no control.
Absolutely.
Don't try to control.
Absolutely. And this is what you are saying is very powerful, audience. Just take a pause once again and reflect for a couple of minutes. In whichever situation in life you are, whichever situation, you might have been laid off, you might have got some problems, you have got some health issues, you might be having some relationship problems, you might be having some of the most challenging problems. Take a deep breath, take a pen and paper and write down 50 things which you can still do. At least 50 things, I know. Correct? And start from there. Exactly. Start from there, that's all. So it's very important. Yeah. So for example, this guy, now that he has not even taken efforts to check the spelling, now it is obvious, very near to obvious, that this guy has got this loser's mindset. And most likely the guy has committed the mistake which has caused some loss to the customer because he does not put in efforts. As simple as that. And he should know that he's working under a boss like Yashpal, who knows, who can see actions, and then he can connect with just a few rules of success. Isn't it transformation or big greatness? Very nicely put up. You're right. Go on. Sorry, I was sharing some more. Yeah.
No, I was reflecting all this part. It had in our college times. When we graduated from the college, and many of us had a campus interview, and it is an interesting story actually. I'll take time to explain that. So after college graduation, 9/11 happened, right? And I was studying for MBA as well. So 9/11 happened, and everybody's job offer got cancelled, right? Rescinded. I got offer from Citicorp. Yeah, in 2001. So I got offer from Citicorp, but then 9/11 happened, and they're like, sorry, we cannot offer you. Wipro had the same. Wipro gave the waiting time of 2 years before they hired the same guys who they offered 2 years back. So everybody is scrambling for work, right? And many people are like, what do we do? Some people joined call center that time. Imagine.
This is a beautiful example. Let's spend some time. Please go on. Very nice.
Correct. So some people joined a call center because they have to earn the bread for the family, right? Imagine being an engineer, you're joining a call center, talking in a fake accent, and doing something. Does not make any sense, but people are doing it to survive. I accidentally got to know a person called Kiran Jain. I'm name dropping here, but is one of the most influential person who influenced my career as well in the beginning of the time. I briefly spent time with him, and so this is the mindset, right? We hold IIT at the very high prestige, right? And see the mindset which you're talking about. So I was looking for a job as well. And I'm looking where to be. I met this friend, one of the most important friend of my life. And we're talking, and he said, you know what? I have some friends in IIT. They're staying in a hostel. They have not got the job yet because even IITs did not get the job. Spend some time with them, right?
Great.
And it was illegal. So they sneaked me into the hostel and I started living as a IITian person for a month or two.
This is awesome. Yeah. Very nice.
So started, I was living in the dome, eating in the canteen.
We spoke about the part of Sangat and company. Now you have got the company people who are, very
correct. And some of the brilliant minds were there. But what I realized, because they did not get job, many people took a job with their professor. So they're assisting their professor on projects and they're getting 3,000 rupees per month as a stipend. Right. And I'm like, that bogged me. I'm like, guys, you are IITs, we Indians will kill somebody to get into IIT, right? If you, and you're working for 3,000 rupees. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense for me whatsoever. Why are you not going out and do something? And that time I got a connection with the Star Plus programming division. They wanted to write all the program for the gaming shows they're having. Wow. I don't know, you remember those Darwaja, Sim Darwaja, the door opens, choice one door or another door. Or there was a carry door and all this. So they were writing the program. They needed a programmer to write all these programs and automate the things and everything. So I said, I was not the greatest programmer. I was this resourceful programmer, but not the greatest. If you tell me to find a very complex, I've written very complex programs in my career, but if you tell me if I'm in the league of a very sort of brilliant coder, no, I'm not. But I was resourceful. I know how to get the job done. And that was enough. So I said, okay. And they said, we need this. And I'm like, this is probably out of my league. And one of the important thing is not excelling at everything. Is about choosing the people in your team who excel at other things. You cannot excel at everything. There is no freaking way you can excel. You probably
yourself with people who can who have got the skills which
exactly. Correct. Out of 100 necessary skills required to be in success in the life, you probably have 5 or 4 of them. That's it. Other skills come from other people, complementary, right? So I realized, and they told me the program, this is what you need to do. And I'm like, I have no freaking idea how to do that. But then I realized, hey, there are many people in IIT who are earning 3,000 rupees. They probably know because they are supposed to be the top 500 people in Indian engineering space, right? So I went to them, put a proposal. Guys, how many hours you're working? And they said, we work 6 hours with the professor. I'm like, okay. And then after that, free. In the dome, we're playing carom, TT. And like, okay, what do you do on the weekends? Yeah, we go out, have some, roam around in Bombay. I'm like, okay, I have a proposition for you. Will you work for me? I'll pay you 3,000 rupees. So basically, I'm doubling your salary. Work 3-4 hours in weekdays and 4-5 hours or 6 hours, whatever you can on the weekends. And this is the program you have to write. We delivered 3 programs to Star Plus through.
Awesome.
And that was the start of an entrepreneurial journey. I mean, I was 9.
So you hired people from IIT, right? To work for you.
My first job was people from IIT.
Awesome, man. Awesome. You inspire me a lot because I'm just thinking or reflecting back on my days, my years when I was in those kind of similar years. Suppose I started my career in 1997 with Tata Steel. Before that, I was in IIT Mumbai for 4 years. But then when I look back on those days, I think you are far ahead. And that's what the thought process is, because very nice, very interesting, very interesting.
Right.
IIT Bombay, and how long a time you spent in IIT Bombay campus?
I spent 3-4 months there as
Yashpal, it's a very powerful thing. There are guys who keep on complaining that, the world is not supporting me, my friends are not supporting me, the world is against me, and they keep on cribbing, whining, complaining. There are many people, majority of people. I was talking to one of my old friends, Rajiv Upadhyay. He was the guest. He is the managing director. Now he has become bigger. He has got bigger role now. He is the head of Saint-Gobain's construction chemicals wing for Asia Pacific region, including close to some 20 countries, including India. And he told me that in IIT Delhi, you spoke about IIT Bombay here, he was talking about IIT Delhi. In IIT Delhi, he used to go to the library while requesting the guard because he didn't have formal membership and he wanted to read. And later on, he qualified for Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, while studying in some of these libraries, while getting a special permission based on a request while talking to the guard, and he used to go and study there for many days, many weeks, many months. He did it without having proper library card. Where there is will, there is way. And the irony of this world is that 90% plus people will not even get the meaning of these three words. I mean, this sentence, where there is will, there is way. And you have shown it, you have done it. You have done it. You have spent almost a few months time in Mumbai.
I don't make a big deal out of it. It was a hustle. It was, hey, you have no jobs coming in IT. That's it. You studied 4 years to have a job in IT, and you have no jobs coming possibly for 1 or 2 years. So what do? And it's a survival mindset, right? You have to survive at any cost. So
absolutely,
this was the hustle.
Just pause here. See, there are different types of people. There is one set group of people who will start blaming their fate, their stars. That this 9/11 has happened. Why should it have happened now when I'm just about to begin my career? So God is against me, universe is against me. I do not have anything to do. If they would have gone to their house, they would have gone back to their villages. They would have been in depression and all that. They might have inherited the songs of Jagjit Singh and some of these things, And then they might be feeling that everything is lost. And here is another person who actually uses this as an opportunity, engages, employs sort of IIT people for him. And of course, you also change your company of people because you are surrounded by people who are super intelligent, right? That would have done the biggest magic. Because I always tell people that it's all about the surrounding. If somebody is surrounded by
surrounding
people who are negative, it has got a big deep connection. Go on, yeah, please. Very nice.
So, I mean, that few things taught me there. Like some guys were super brilliant. I mean, IIT typically have a ratio. Obviously, everybody who gets into IIT are super intelligent and hardworking. More hardworking. But if you see the ratio, and I don't know whether you can analyze the data, till 1990s, the average age of IITians was 17 years. Okay, that means they're doing 12 and they're getting into IIT. Now the average age is 19. That means they're taking a gap year, studying or failing or redoing, and then getting into the IIT, right? So people are actually taking time. So hard work is obviously consistency. They have to do that, keep on doing that. But the top cream, which is 20%, which is really the genius guys, you meet some of them and you realize the mindset, and it suddenly make you feel small first, right? That you are in the presence of it.
I can connect.
But then you don't have to be intimidated by that, because everywhere in every single field, whichever field you take about, right? Every single field will have somebody who's better than you at every point of time. Will have a better idea than you. Will have a better execution style than you. The one thing which you need to do is accept your deficit. If you don't, and many people fail in that, they don't accept that somebody is better than them, right? Accept your deficit of knowledge or execution or your willpower, whatever it is, and see who can help you with that. The earlier you ask for help, people will do that. And in fact, I was reading, which book was that? I forgot, on the philosophical book. Instead of helping people, if you ask them for the help, the person will be more open to help you because he gets a sense of pedestal that he's there somewhere, right? ask for help, and people will do help for you, right? In a right way.
Absolutely right, sir. Absolutely right. Because I always tell mentees that the biggest and the simplest secret to success is just a set of 3 action points. First is ask for help,
Yes.
which many people do not do. Many people will keep on whining, complaining, suffering internally while going through some of the darkest phases of life, but they will not talk to one person for help. That's the first thing. Second is ask the right person to the extent possible. Do not get misguided by some of these coaches who are
Exactly.
telling you this kind of
Ask
things.
the right person as well.
Ask the right person. And third is keep on asking consistency till you get the answer. That's all. These are the only 3 secrets to success. Steve Jobs had made a call to the head of Hewlett, Mr. Packard or Mr. Hewlett. He had made a call when he was just 17 years asking for some coding, some secret. So Mr. Packard got so happy, as coming back to the example which you gave me. You're absolutely right. If somebody asks somebody for help, the mentor gets so happy that Mr. Hewlett, Mr. Packard invited Steve Jobs to do internship free of cost in their factory. That's the thing changed, but the thing is that people are shy away. I wanted to read out a message. The moment you said something, I could see the connection. Yesterday, I got a message from a lady employee working in the field of HR in one of the multinationals. Sir, now let me read out the thing. And she's asking for help. This is yesterday. Sir,
Right.
as per your latest post, I am facing symptoms from the day. She read one of the posts on LinkedIn. I am facing symptoms from the day I have joined, wherein my boss never lets me deal with some union and important people. He or she is never interested in my growth. Instead, tries to keep me engaged in all clerical jobs only and overburdens me with useless work. But my top end CHRO, head of HR, recognizes me. I have been promoted in a span of 5 years, at least 2 times or 3 times only. And what should I do? Initially, earlier, and now I can see a stagnation over the last many years. What should I do? And how do I work with a boss like this? Yes, immediately I sent a message to her, audio message to her that, okay, today, Saturday, these are the 3 time slots. Come, let's have a word. Let's speak for half an hour time because this has got some more interaction. We need to check out what is the surrounding, what is the situation, then I can make a suggestion to you. Absolutely, free of cost. I mean, it does not cost much. The person has just used the power of LinkedIn to send a message to me, and I'm happy to share half an hour time. Of course, the person may decide to come for one-to-one coaching, may not decide. It's perfect. But even in half an hour, the person will certainly get some nuggets of something based on which the person can find the way ahead. Asking so important. I think I'm going to invite you, Yashpal, in some of these morning ritual sessions whenever, as per your time frame, time zone. As a guest,
If I'm not traveling, I'm happy
super
to
inspiring, man. I think I can have a series of 2-3 conversations with you. I'm just saying, we are here to get into the main theme of interaction, and still we have got so many important, powerful points based on which people can change their life for the best of reasons. Very nice. Go on, Mani.
I don't claim to change anybody's life. I'm just simply narrating my experiences. What
No, this is what you said is very important. I also saw that we can just humbly make an effort. We can talk to people, share some of these things. There is one central thread which differentiates people into 2 categories. There are just a small percentage of people who have got this hunger to change, and only then they will change. So who are we to change? Otherwise, in a WhatsApp group of 100 people, why is it so that only 10 people join? But those who join, they join every day. 90% of people will never join, I know. So this is very important. So we can't change. People choose to change. People choose to change, and people choose to go into depression also, as we said in a few minutes ago. It's all decision which people take. Go on, please.
I mean, it was when we talk about this part of hunger, the I don't know, the art of getting by has lost on people, honestly. The art of hustle, art of getting things, whatever is necessary to get the things done. May not be perfect, may not be ideal, but get the job done somehow. I still remember, I in the college, I remember those days, the silly days, we're talking about 25, 26 years back, when you talk about some of the professors were not qualified, to be a professor. Now, they normally put students in a difficult situation where, hey, you write assignment which is not going to be happening. He's going to reject it. He's going to make you write another 40 pages again, which has no value. Nobody reads it. I started doing is what is the weak point, or what is the, in Hindi, because chaplusi point of each guy, right? I started doing that very clearly, because I know I'm not going to write 40-page essay on any assignment. It's a waste of paper and time and effort and everything there. So what we used to do is I used to now follow all these professors closely and see what is their weak point, right? What they get gratification. They're looking at gratification, right?
Absolutely.
If anybody,
Yeah,
any professor worth his salt, if he's knowledgeable and a true blue teacher, he will do a different thing. I mean, and I'll give you example during my other part there. But the professor who seek validation and gratification by torturing, they have no substance. So they always cater to these, points. And I used to do that all the time. So my assignment is there, sir, did you play that particular game? Huh? Are you played? Yeah, I played that video game. And okay, and we talk. And meanwhile, he's signing my assignment, getting it done. My classmate used to hate me because I knew the weak point, what to talk at that point to that person.
Many people are also doing it in corporates, in many big institutions. I know. Go on.
Sometimes you pick your battle, right, in the corporate world, and that's because when you talk about that HR, the lady, sometimes you have to pick your battle. I used to be stubborn at one point that, hey, what is right, I'm right, and I used to pick fight with my superiors, bosses, forget about the chain of command hierarchy. I'm not saying respect that. If you have to get the job done, reach anywhere you want. And I've done that many times. But sometimes you have to let things go, because is it worth fighting for? Is it worth your next 2 weeks or 3 weeks of corporate politics? Is it worth it? No. If somebody is insulting you and you have nothing to gain by winning that argument, leave it.
Leave it. Actually, there is one thing, Yashpal Ji, what you said is very important. I always inspire my mentees to practice forgiveness for many of people who might not have added, rather they might have added some negative value to their life. Not value is not the right word. So forgiveness is very important. So when I wrote this book, there is a meditation here, forgiveness meditation. It's across 4 to 5 pages, where somebody who falls in love with somebody, and then goes through breakup, and then he is carrying that grudge that the person didn't like with the person, and then he's only thinking and listening to sad songs, and he's totally going downward in the dark spiral of negativity. And then he visits, actually this book is all about the person visiting 7 places. There is a game of life, which one of his friends, you spoke about one of your friends, Mr. Jain, right? You spoke about one of your friends, advised you to go to IIT. Similarly, he also has got a good friend. It's all about company. One person, right person, can change the life of people. Correct. That friend advises him to go to 7 places. He actually designs a game of life where he goes to 7 places. And as he goes to all the places, each of the 7 places, he starts getting new awakenings in life. So at one place, he's told by the mentor that he has to go through forgiveness meditation. And he actually makes him practice something while being in silence so that he forgives the girl who has gone. And then he also asks him to donate some of these gifts which he had carried along with him to some poor people, some of the gifts which he had got from the girl. And then now he's getting free and free and free. And
exactly.
The beautiful world which I can see behind you in the backdrop, the beautiful world which is waiting for him, nice blue sky and beautiful those places which I can see pictures, is amazing. Because the world is still there. All these beautiful things are still there. When people get into this negativity, they start seeing only that dark tunnel, and they stop thinking about their parents, their mentors, their teachers, beautiful opportunities. There are beautiful girls who are also there. I mean, if I can say so on lighter note, the thing is that it's all about what you want to see, and you have to change the pattern of thinking by asking.
Correct. We were used to practice one thing is, a lot of negativity in the corporate world especially comes from email,
Comes from
bad email.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Both while talking to you, I'm getting a feeling that everything which you're saying has got some half an hour content, solid deep content. And again, it is getting connected to with what you said. You said something that most of the people today are doing things in a shallow way. Very important. Exactly. Doing it as a matter of tick marking. That's the reason when people come to join me in the morning, as I said, no tick marking. You first learn to appreciate your power, appreciate the power of morning, appreciate the power of habit, appreciate the power of eating an apple a day. Appreciate. You have stopped appreciating. हर चीज ऊपर चल रहा है तो फिर कैसे जिंदगी बदलेगी? Go on. Yeah, very interesting.
We started practicing that part. Is if the email doesn't require a response, it is just in a case where somebody is criticizing you, right? But it doesn't require a response. Instinctively, you will do a response, right? You will write a We always have this part which is called I saw, I laughed, I deleted. practice that. Your life will change, because you saw, you delete that email from your inbox, from your delete box, from everywhere, so that you cannot respond to it. Absolutely. And since you cannot do anything about that email anymore, there is nothing to do. Move on.
Very good point, Yashpalji. Very good point, because emails, I know many people would have sorted out many issues while just talking to the person, while just talking, which is the best way. Just like we are talking, I'm pretty sure that within this 1 hour of conversation, I think already we have done 1 hour, and we are yet to get into the. Super inspiring. I'm getting so much inspired from this conversation. Yashpalji, this is for the first time that we have completed 1 hour, and still we have got to enter into some of these points which we are going to discuss, and still we have got almost all the secrets of success in front of us.